What's up, manga fans, and welcome back to another review of Hajime no Ippo. So surprisingly, we got another 3 chapter dosage last night, and because I have work, I didn't see it. I would have reviewed it back then, but chapter 1117, 1118, and 1119 came out, and these last 3 chapters, as predicted, were the last climax, the build up to the end, and that is it. The chapter has ended. Takamura has once again proven he is the undefeated champion of the world, unifying the middleweight WBA, WBC belt, and he's pretty much earned himself a new title as the Bison Slayer. He was previously the Bear Slayer, now he's the Bison Slayer, and he's going to be moving on up to the world, the next obviously weight class. So chapters were intense, I'm not gonna lie. From start to finish, I just loved the whole intensity and seeing Takamura, in such physical pain, but his fighting spirit was coming back. You could just imagine, the little glowy eyes that we see in the anime and the noise it makes every time they get in, their fighting spirit back despite their body being broken. And he was literally fighting back. And we even see the monologuing of his history with Kamagaya, who brought him to the boxing world. You can tell this is his appreciation of him bringing to it. It's like, I knew I was strong. It was obvious that I would become world champion, but the fact is, you brought me here. You brought me to this place where I can be myself, act like myself, prove my strength, and be loved for it. And he had pretty much contentment at seeing, Kamagaya's stupid face every time Takamura won his victory. So he's like, I'm gonna continue doing that just to see your stupid face. It's so Sudandra from them. It's literally, instead of saying I was happy seeing your face light up every time I win, he's just like, oh, your stupid little, it's like your stupid pathetic face every time I won was something I'm going to continue to do. And when he remembered the face and that panel when Ippo lost, I just thought, yeah, that linked up really well. You could imagine that in the anime with that flashing through his mind. He's like, that face I saw before, it's the same face I'm seeing now. And he's like, I'm not going to be the one at fault. I was like, I'm definitely not going to let that happen. It won't happen. Then he starts fighting back, and I just thought, yeah, this is what we've known from Ippo. I know it's unrealistic. Takamura should have probably been dead or knocked out a long time ago, but this is what we've known it for. It's literally fighting spirits, guts. So seeing that happen was, just to see him fight back shows that Takamura isn't that invincible, but he has what everyone else in Ippo has, fighting spirit, to turn back the tables and counter-attack. So Kamagaya also had a monologue. It was like a perfect parallel to Takamura. They pretty much used the same pattern, and he's like saying the same thing. He appreciates Takamura bringing this, little brat off the street and turning him into the prize boxer he is now, taking him to places he's never been, bringing him belts. This is something he's enjoyed. He appreciates it, but his was more sorrowful. Takamura's was more of a comeback. I'm going to win no matter what. Kamagaya was losing his faith in Takamura winning. He even said that this isn't your fault, this loss is not on you. And he's like, he's about to throw in the towel, and Takamura's looking at him like, what are you doing, old man? What the hell are you doing? And I just thought, yeah, that was some drama right there, because to see the towel being thrown in, you would think, wow, okay, is Takamura actually going to lose? But in the next chapter, what do we see? The Aoki Kimura team double up, with them literally Kimura throwing Aoki up and Aoki grabbing it. I was literally in stitches. Morikawa always makes me laugh when he can put comedy in such a serious moment, and their combined effort just made me hilarious, as long with their comedy duo act, when their reactions towards Kamagaya is like, he's still fighting, he's a real man, as fellow men we understand. And then the camera guy just turns to, what the hell do you understand? And their faces were just so troll-like and ugly looking. And then he's telling them to give it back, and they look like little dogs or, pets that didn't want to give it back. But eventually that's all dealt with, because, we see later on Kamagaya eventually starts berating him. He's like, you idiot, what are you doing out there? I thought you was going to say it's all fine, show me what you got. And the rest are cheering as well, but Takamura couldn't hear them. So it was only until Ippo's voice, he's the loudest of everyone, so I'm not surprised Takamura heard him, but it was more symbolic because of Ippo's loss is the reason why, Kamagaya is the way he looks. So, and it relates to what happens later in the chapter. Ippo was getting through to him, and he's like, I can hear Ippo. He's like, and obviously he knows he's training him. He's like, shut up, shut the F up. He's like, I'm the one who has to make up for your mistake. It's your fault. And then we get a nostalgic flashback. That throwback was so great to see the earlier days of Ippo, when he's being taught, you know, the fundamentals of boxing by Takamura. And it was to do with one of the weaknesses he's had back then, and it was his toe. His big toe is weak, and he doesn't know how to utilize his other toes to like pivot properly when he throws a punch. He hasn't trained them enough, and literally utilizing the same advice he gave to Ippo years ago, Takamura pivots on his one good leg, and he's like, I'll show you how it's done. This is how it's done. Everyone's like, oh my god, like especially Ippo, because he knows that's his speciality, to pivot and throw punches in such a, you know, tight and compact angle and up close. So instead of seeing something just like a quick like hook, we see this kind of Tasmanian devil Crash Bandicoot like Takamura literally spinning like a tornado. And I thought, I know it's meant to be serious, but I found that hilarious. And then he's literally showing Ippo his speciality of pivoting while punching, but done right, or done on a professional level. And he completely blows away Bison's huge left that he was about to throw, and everyone thought, yep, that was going to be the one that ends it. But no, Takamura's fighting back. And then we have this last part where Takamura and Bison are both saying, Takamura, Momoru, is like, you can't do anything, you can do anything. They're both clashing with their thoughts in, you know, at the last minute. And then Takamura sends another one, pivoting punch to Bison, sends him flying into corner. And I'm just thinking, oh crap, he completely wrecked him. I thought that would have done it, but everyone's screaming at him like, get out of the corner, get out of the corner. So you assume Takamura's just trying to get out and make space, but no, he turned around and he said, I'm not hiding for you, I'm coming back to take you out. And he does one more of those Crash Bandicoot punches and sends him to the mat, to the floor. He was out, and that was it, confirmed. He is the unified middleweight champion of the world. And I was just thinking, wow, that was such an ass-pull comeback, but it was enjoyable. As I said before, this is what we read Ippo for the ridiculousness of it. I mean, obviously deep down, it follows the rules, the regulations, the techniques, everything, even the history of boxing. But we have to remember it is an anime manga series, so there's going to be exaggerations. I mean, look how the Dempsey roll looks compared to real life. It's literally doing, you know, weird movements and motion, and the way, you know, someone can get punched and sent across the ring. And I never obviously get disappointed by things like that. I do get annoyed when people like Ippo will take tons of hit and then he eventually wins back. Takamura is kind of different. He wins back with more skill, along with his fighting spirit and guts. But Ippo has always been guts, and like just overwhelm the other opponent, outlast. And I think this is going to show Ippo, you know, this is what it takes to win on the world stage. You need to be a monster. You need to be ready to give up everything. And yeah, rightly so, Takamura gained back what he was very close to losing. And it shows that if he hadn't gotten a bad leg, Bison probably would have been knocked out a long time ago. But as I said, the match is done, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. It was very short, despite, you know, the long gaps between each release, but it was, in my opinion, much better than the Ippo Alfredo fight, because that was 40 chapters of long-windedness. But this one was concise. It was a bit, you know, kind of bland at some points, but when it got into it, it was very, very intense, especially towards the later rounds. So yeah, I'm satisfied with this. Takamura is the world champ once again, and I'll look forward to see him moving on up to the heavier weight classes. So yeah, that's more or less it. We're up to date with Ippo. Can't wait to see what's going to be the next chapter. And I'd like to know what you guys think about this. Are you still loving Ippo? Was you satisfied with how this match ended? Let me know anything, what you think, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Take care.